Good morning, I'm Nelson Basing, and you may call me Nelson. Climate change is the defining issues of our time, and we are at a defining moment. From shifting weather patterns that threaten food productions to rising sea level that increase the risk of catastrophic flooding. The impacts of climate change are global in scope and unprecedented in scale. Without drastic action today, adapting to these impacts in the future will be more difficult and costly. Third, I decided to design a climate change experience hall, UP-Bay, as my final year's project to encourage people to do our part in order to solve the climate change for the planet and the people. Without further ado, let me begin my presentation. Climate change refers to long-term shift in temperatures and weather pattern. This shift might be natural, such as through variations in the solar cycles, but since the 1800s, humans' activity have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Therefore, climate change has been proved that it is actually solvable by human beings. The entire design are based on these two design statements, which are redefine human-nature relationship and self-power design. Redefine human-nature relationship is to find out the balance between the human beings and natures, so none of them will be taking the lead in this relation. And for self-power design, it will be an example or solutions for visitors to refer to when they start to aware of the climate change and trying to do their part for it, so that the applications in the experience hall could be their reference. The chosen site for the proposed design is Sendu Depot. Sendu Depot is an abandoned warehouse which is surrounded by the green nature, and this has made it the best reason why it's been chosen. As to me, this is a very good example of the combination between the human-made elements and the nature are in a balance. Moving to the programming, there's a series of mood and feelings that I'm trying to deliver to the visitor in order to raise up their awareness to climate change. At first, they'll be feeling the negative mood such as depression, anxiety, and nausea, as they'll be knowing and learning about everything of climate change and the impacts that it brings to us. Then, there will be feelings about the positive feelings such as relaxed, hopeful, and open-minded, as they'll be told about the solutions in order to solve climate change. To deliver these feelings and mood to the visitor, a series of programming are proposed. So, firstly, the reception area will be the first base that the visitor will visit once they get into the UP-Bay. The design here will be rusty industrial style base and coming with a bit of green plants to create an abandoned building feelings. Visitors will be asked to draw or write down what is climate change in their mind before they start their visit. And their work will be pinned up here to let the other visitors to take a look of it. And this is going to strengthen what climate change is in their mind after they having their visit. Next, the visitor will get into the disaster gallery. At here, visitor can take a look at artwork or info about the climate change and its impact. The gallery will be separated into three parts. The first part is designed with the inspiration of drought, while the second part is inspired with floods. Both these parts are spaces that exhibit artwork about the nature disaster that bring by the climate change. And for the third part, it's inspired by the earthquake. At here, the visitor can take a look at the disaster that happened around the world and the victims that have been passed away because of the natural disaster through the QR code provided. Moving on, visitor will next go to the exhibition hall. The exhibition hall will be exhibit the extinct animals and plants that caused by the human's activities, to strengthen the point that how human activity will affect the whole planet in their mind. Next, visitor can decide whether they want to go to the upper floor or the event space. The event space is mainly used for the visitors to learn about the sustainable energy. Sustainable energy related business can also renting the spaces here to promote their business to visitors. Moving on, visitor will go to the garden and the vegetation workshop. At here, they can either take a rest in the nature or learn about the vegetation in the workshop and realize the beauty and the importance of plants to human. Next, we'll move to the VR experience space that located at the second floor. In VR experience space, visitor can have a clearer and deeper experience about the impact that brings by the climate change. For example, they can becoming a nature disaster victims, seeing their family die beside them and facing the disaster. Going through the VR experience space is a power gym. Visitors will be encouraged to use this space as a gym to generate electric power to supply the use of the whole building. The power they generate can be sold to UP or either charging their own device or electric car at the car park. Next, visitors can have a break at vegetarian cafe. As animal husbandry is one of the biggest issues of the climate change, the cafe encourages visitors to have vegetarian meals and snacks here. Last but not least is the retail space. Visitors can bring any green product or the vegetation they have interest at the garden just now. According to the moods and feelings that hope to deliver to the visitor, the space flooring is designed in this way. Visitor will get the negative feelings in disaster gallery, exhibition hall, VR experience space once they go through the reception area. And next, they'll be getting the positive feelings in event space, garden, and vegetarian cafe. Last but not least, the isonometry of the proposed design will be like this. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening to my final project, UP.